Welcome to another edition of Smalltalk for You. This morning I wanted to continue to go through log4s and VA Smalltalk. And what I've done is I've created two small objects. Each have a simple API of just adding one to an instance variable. And the only difference between the two is in attr1 I've got a print_on method, which looks normal, and in attr2 I've got a print log4s method, which just returns a string, kind of like display string in VisualWorks. These are the small differences between these two classes, and that's really it. What I wanted to illustrate is how this impacts your logging. So if we go over here to the documentation, you'll notice there are a lot of things you can do with logging. And what I'm going to illustrate here is %object, which will either respond to print log4s if implemented or use the print string if that's not there. So that's what I'm going to illustrate. Now, one thing that threw me a little bit in this is that if you look at this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a transcript logger so that we can see what's going on. So let's execute that. And then let's clear the transcript out so that we don't have any confusion. The thing that confused me a little bit the first time was how this all operates. What I did here to get these to operate is go into the add1 method and I said warn object. At first I wasn't including this second thing. I kind of just made the presumption that it would pick that up. It doesn't. Instead of just using warn or info, you use warn : object : or info : object : and so on to send the object. Now this is flexible. You don't have to send self here. You could send any other object in here. If it was a more complex method, I could log anything I wanted here. So it just kind of violated my initial presumptions, but it works nicely. Let's go ahead and see what happens here when I take attr1, and we'll create these two objects. And now what we'll do is send add1 with attr. And you see up here we get the print string. And now let's go ahead here, and we should get print log4s executing for this one, and sure enough we do. So that's the small difference you can make here. You can customize the way these things show up in the log a couple different ways. Not just through the pattern, but also through the actual implemented code in here if you like. So you should go ahead and look at the documentation, look at all of these various options you can use, and then just experiment with it a little bit and work with things like print log4s and some objects and see what happens. So that's about it for today. Until next time, have fun with whatever Smalltalk you're using.